You know, we've had the whole, like, let's be honest, we've had the whole election thing. That's been a roller coaster. People thought Trump was going to win. Now they think Biden's going to win. What's going to happen? You know what I think's going to happen? I think that Biden's probably going to win. Trump's going to call a revote and then, or a recount, and they're going to do a recount, and Biden's probably still going to win. Here's the thing. Is it like, it doesn't matter which side you're on. If, like, both sides think the world's going to end if the other side wins. Like, that's really what it is. And don't fucking tell me that that's not the case. Like, both of them think the world's gonna fucking end. It's like they think if Biden wins, it's all over and America's gonna get sold out. They think if Trump wins, it's all over and, you know, fucking, I don't know what they think's gonna happen, right? But the point is that this is, only if Trump wins, yeah. Well, it is exactly right, based off of which side you're on, that's what I'm saying. And so, this has obviously been probably the most, in at least like my recent, like my memory, this has been the most emotionally charged election we've ever had. People are just completely out of their fucking minds. People are pissed off about everything. Nobody likes either of the candidates. Like, let's be honest. Like, people that are voting for Trump, and most people that vote for Trump, they don't like Trump. They just hate Biden more. And it's the same thing with fucking Biden. Most of the people don't like Biden. They just like Trump less. That's it. And so, yeah, this whole thing's been a complete shit show. And yeah, am I wrong? Like, yeah, no, it's like, look at everybody. Like, you've got fucking Hassan, does the stream. What's he wearing? A Bernie t-shirt. Just so nobody gets the wrong idea. Listen, it's disappointing for everybody. Everybody's pissed off. Are you scared of riots? No, why the fuck would I be scared of riots? Joe Biden's gonna win. If Trump won, yeah, there would have been a ton of riots. If Biden wins, there's gonna be maybe some few people get pissed off. Like, I think that honestly, if Biden wins, there's gonna be, if Trump wins, there will be 10 times more the riots. I think so. I think if Trump wins, there will be 10 times more the riots. I've always thought that it was kind of obvious that Biden is gonna win, right? I did. And like, here's really why. People base, if they want a new president or an old, or keep the same president, on one thing: how good are things going for me right now? That's it. They don't care really about the policies. They don't care really about anything. And if things are going well, then they say, all right, let's keep going. And if things are not going well, they say, all right, let's switch it up. And things are not going well. Whether that's Trump's fault or not. And by the way, I know people are going to say, oh, it's not his fault, I didn't do it. And people are like, yeah, dude, he did it. It's completely his fault. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's completely beside the point. It's perception. Perception transcends facts and reality. Perception is what matters. The facts are secondary, okay? Like, the facts and everything are just secondary now, and they always have been, but they're especially now. Yeah, it transcends all of this. And so anyway, people perceive their lives to be worse. And people generally, I think, perceive Trump as mishandling the coronavirus. This is the perception. And because of that perception, then he's gonna lose. Also on top of that, like, let's say media portrayed it, and like social media pushed stories that were like untrue about Trump saying bad things about coronavirus. Trump had 4 years. The Republicans were in the Senate and they had a Republican president. They had 4 fucking years to try to do a legislation to regulate social media. They didn't do a fucking thing because 90% of them are these dumb motherfuckers that don't even know how to use their email. They don't know a goddamn thing. So I don't feel bad for them at all. They let this shit happen. All the recent Biden states will be legally challenged by us for voter fraud and state election fraud. Plenty of proof. We will win. America first. Flagged? I don't think that should have been flagged. I don't know, because like plenty of proof is the only thing that would like really be flagged, right? It's like, is it misleading if you say you're gonna challenge it? I don't think that's misleading. I don't think that's misleading, man. Yeah, that's a bit much. And it seems like just him contesting the results is considered misleading, which I don't agree with. I mean, I think somebody should have the right to be able to contest them and make sure that they get due process. Like, what they're saying is like him contesting them and asking for due process under the law is not, that's not acceptable. I think that's bullshit. There's no proof. Like, doesn't that make you guys uncomfortable that Twitter is just automatically basically issuing a verdict on whether what he's saying is true or not, or whether it's valid or not? I don't know. I think that's very disturbing. I don't agree with that. I don't like that. Yeah, it's not that it's censorship. It's that they have a large stake in power in being able to basically control like communication around the presidential election. I don't agree with that. I don't like that at all. I'm gonna be honest, man. Regardless of one way or another, like doesn't matter who wins, I think that shit needs to be fucking addressed. Like that definitely needs to be addressed. If they want to start making decisions and determining what's misleading and what's not, if they're a private company, that's fine, but they also work in the US, and I think the US should make sure that they're not doing that and abusing that power or using it for their own specific goals. That's what I was saying. Most of what he says is lies, though. That's okay, but I mean, like, I'm not saying that what he's saying isn't lies or whatever, but like, I'm looking at this specific thing. I don't think they should have flagged that one. That's what I'm truly trying to say. Internet should be a utility, and no single company without public accountability. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, this is a company, it's a private company with no public accountability that's making determinations on whether presidential candidates are lying or not, and then censoring them based off of those determinations. Like, I'm not talking about like somebody being like, you know, having their stuff deleted for saying the N-word or like whatever. Like, this is a big deal. It's a big fucking deal. This is a bad take. You're just saying that because I'm saying something that disagrees with your narrative that Trump's wrong. And Trump can be wrong, but he has a right to be wrong. Like, are you fucking crazy? You want a private company with no public accountability making distinctive determinations on whether different things are true or not in an election and then censoring based off of those determinations. Do you really think that's good for a fucking society? Do you really think that's healthy? Do you think that's good in the long term? That's fucking terrible. That is an awful fucking idea. The fact that people don't want to have this moderated and regulated is insane. And the only reason they don't want to have it regulated is because their side is the one that has control over it. Things always have a way of changing. I don't like this at all. He's saying we will win is already misleading enough. Biden said we will win, and they didn't do that to him because Biden isn't a fucking psycho. Yeah, but they're not. So they just get to determine who's a psycho, and then based off of them determining who's a psycho, they decide to censor them. So basically, a political candidate's reach is determined by a public company's determination on if they're a psycho or not. This is the stupidest fucking logic I've ever heard in my entire life. I can't believe anybody buys into this at all. It's very, very dangerous. Companies already control the election. Well, then why is it okay? Why is that okay? Like, if this doesn't make you uncomfortable, I think that you're delusional, okay? Like, I think that you're absolutely delusional. That's all there is to it. If people disagree or whatever, that's fine. But my take is this. I will say it one more time, and then we will move on. I do not think that a private company with no public accountability should have this much control over an election, especially whenever they can effectively make decisions and censor the content that different candidates say inside of the election and about the election in real time based off of their own personal benchmarks and their own personal criteria. I don't think that should be acceptable at all. And I think that if anybody does that, I think that it should be done through an actual publicly accountable committee that makes decisions and makes these kinds of things in a fair way. If you disagree with that, that's fine. But I'm going to laugh whenever this eventually turns around and you have these companies doing it to liberals too. This will happen. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will happen. If you create a system to oppress other people, the only thing you need to do for it to be used against you is wait. And that's what's going to happen. I don't want to see anybody be oppressed by a system with no accountability. I don't like it. I don't think it's fair. And that's all there is to it. And come on, Macos lost. What do you mean? Like, I literally said Biden was going to win the whole time. What are you talking about? Like, you're just coping because you don't like what I'm saying. You're coping because I'm not saying. Listen, not being forced to use Twitter. Yeah, well, you're not being forced to do a lot of things. But whenever something has such a large influence like it has, yeah, you're not forced to use internet or you're not forced to use other utilities, but the government still regulates them anyway. Can't the president just make a public address if he wanted his voice to be heard? Doesn't matter if he's censored by Twitter or not. Well, I think, yeah, he could, but that doesn't mean that censoring somebody on Twitter is okay in that way. I don't think so at all. Yeah, I completely disagree with that. I'm actually surprised that there's like, I thought that Arizona was much more conservative and much more Republican. I didn't even know that was the case. Arizona is trending so much fraud. Listen, if there's fraud, I completely respect Trump's right to be able to contest the election. Gore did back in 2000. And I looked back at this. I saw something about this. I heard that Gore he didn't concede the election until like December 13th. Like we got a long way ahead of us. This is a long way ahead of us, boys. Like, you think Trump's going to give this shit up easy? You're crazy. Let's have a vote. Let's do straw poll. Who do you think is going to win? Let's see results. Oh, that's a big difference. That's a big motherfucking difference than before. Because before, it was like most people thought Trump was going to win. Recount the poll? Well, what, you guys want me... What, you think the poll's rigged? What, you want me to do a recount on the poll, dude? Come on, man. What the fuck, dude? Stop the poll, man. Bro, stop the poll. Here's what I think's gonna happen when we stop the poll. Who gonna win? Here, we'll do another poll. Here's what I think's gonna happen on the recount. Man, what the fuck, dude? Man. So all they need to do is do a recount? Trump's gonna win? I told you it was rigged. People need to understand, like, I don't really... Like, I have a horse in this race, right? I mean, I live in America. Like, if Joe Biden wins, I'm gonna have to pay a lot of fucking money in taxes. Am I gonna give a fuck about that? No, not really. I never worry about that because it's the right thing to do. You know what? Whenever I was younger, my other people's taxes went to funding my mom's healthcare and funding my mom's food stamps. And now my taxes go towards funding somebody else's mom's healthcare and somebody else's mom's food stamps. Because that's the way things go. If you don't like that, that's fine. I can understand the individualism, but I just think that it's wrong. Trump campaign is speaking. Oh, really?
Never able to see the ballot itself. Never able to see if it was properly postmarked.
It's public.
Properly addressed.
It'd be fine.
Properly signed on the outside.
Yeah.
All the things that often lead to disqualification of ballots or make it very easy to dump 50,000 totally fraudulent ballots because they're not observed. This went on for 20 hours.
Okay.
While all of you thought there was some kind of legitimate count going on here in Philadelphia, it was totally illegitimate. So we went back to court, and we went before a Democrat judge. No need to tell you what the result in Philadelphia is if you're before a Democrat judge. Obviously a political hack who doesn't know the meaning of the word observe. Observe means to be able to look. Not a single Republican has been able to look at any one of these mail ballots. They could be from Mars, as far as we're concerned, or they could be from the Democratic National Committee. Joe Biden could have voted 50 times, as far as we know, or 5,000 times. The ballots could be from Camden. Philadelphia, unfortunately, and I would say this about my own city, has a reputation for voter fraud. You have a reputation for dead people voting, and we're going to go look at just how many dead people voted here.
That's
I
good.
didn't think we'd have to do that, but we will.
Make sure to investigate.
And you have a reputation for people being bussed in from Camden voting here. Wouldn't be the first time that happened. But this goes way beyond any of that. And let me also add
Rudy,
that this isn't happening just here. We have exactly the same lawsuit in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Where exactly the same thing happened. Except in Wisconsin, mysteriously at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, about 120,000 ballots appeared.
No shit,
Whoa,
stupid.
Here come these ballots. Well, we have no idea if they really are ballots. We have no idea if they're signed, if they're postmarked properly.
No fucking shit.
If it isn't just the same person who submitted 100,000 ballots, and they all got counted. This is the way they intend to win. Now I'm informed by former Congressman Sweeney, who's been going around the country collecting this information.
Yeah?
That similar situation in Arizona, similar situation in Nevada.
All the ones that you're
and a
losing,
similar situation.
right?
What am I missing, John? Where are you? in Michigan. In Detroit, Michigan. Again, let me be specific.
I knew it.
What
All
it
the
is.
ones he's losing.
This whole new thing that never happened before in our country, these mail-in
It's crazy.
ballots,
It's only rigged whenever you're
which
losing.
has been a cause of real concern for everyone because they can easily be fraudulent.
Get the fuck out of
Well,
here.
one of the things that the law attaches to that is the right for both parties to observe the ballot, the way we do with absentee ballots. You make certain it's properly signed. On the outside, there's a signature. You make sure that it's properly postmarked. You make sure that it's properly addressed, and then you pass on it. A number of these are often challenged by the Democrat representative or the Republican representative.
Oh,
We never got a chance to look at a single one of them. The gentleman here who did this for us says about 100,000 ballots went through that process.
Yeah?
In the 20-plus hours in which they wasted his time by not allowing him to see a single ballot. Well, that's 120,000 ballots that should just be taken out of the count. So you want to look at that number, that 120,000 should come out. And this is an area in which Biden is getting 60, 70% of the vote.
how convenient.
I don't know if this is going on any other place, but it is going on in enough,
All the places
enough
we're
frequency
losing.
in Wisconsin that we've brought suit, and now we'll have to look into 3 other places. What it says to me is this is a concerted effort of the crooks that run the Democrat Party. And you know these big city machines are crooked. You know that. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years of one-party rule leads to corruption of all kinds. Voter fraud is one of the biggest because that's how you keep your power. But we're not going to let them get
Yeah.
away with it.
That's
We're
good,
not going to
Rudy.
steal this election. This election gets decided by the people. These people, the elite, they don't care about the people. The people are the deplorables, the chumps. They're not important. To President Trump, he's the whole reason that he ran for office. And he's the whole reason for which he's carrying on this campaign, so that your vote can mean something. So that your vote doesn't get wiped out by 100,000 fraudulent,
What do you
meaningless
mean?
paper ballots that no one gets to
He
observe.
won last time because people's vote got wiped out.
So we are going to continue the lawsuit
what
here.
the
We're going to bring a
fuck do you
second one,
mean, dude?
and then we're going to bring a federal lawsuit. And we're going to take a very good look at whether we bring this nationally. We certainly are going to bring it here
Oh, good.
and in Wisconsin. Quite possibly, we'll do a national lawsuit and really expose the corruption of the Democrat Party. But this is beyond anything I've ever seen before. This comes when you think you have so much power and you own the media that you can do anything you want. Well, sorry. We're going to fight for the people. We're going to vindicate their right. And the ultimate result is President Trump has won Pennsylvania. I've never heard of a count where you're ahead by 400,000 with 80+% counted, and they haven't called it for you yet. They called California the moment the polls closed. How many votes do you have to be ahead to win, for a Republican to win here? How many votes do we have to be ahead? 400,000 is not enough? With 80+% counted, I think there's only 14% of the vote to go. Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools? You know something? The Democrats do think you're stupid, and they do think you're fools, and that's why you get called deplorable and chumps. It's over. We're going to stick with this. We're going to win this election. We've actually won it. Just a matter of counting the votes fairly. So
Wow.
I'd like to ask
There
former
it
Attorney
is.
General of Florida,
Wow.
CatDany, to explain what's been going on at the polling places,
let's just
which is just as
pack it
dastardly
up.
and just as
Let's pack it up. Here's the thing. I think that of course they should investigate it. They should check and make sure that everything's fine. If one party says it's fake, it's not a big deal. You just check it. It's not fake. All right, move forward. That's fine. Like it doesn't, that's completely fucking fine. But I think that they're probably just pissed off because they fucking lost. That's what it is. I've got no problem. I've got no problem with them doing a check, making sure the policy's done, making sure everything's done in the right way, and all that kind of stuff. But whenever you talk about throwing out votes, like, we got to really see some fucking proof for that, man. You don't just throw out fucking votes. Especially whenever you're losing. Like, what is this logic behind all the fucking places that are fraudulent are the places that you're losing, and all the places that are legit are the places that you're winning? Like, come on, guys. Shill Asmongold, wait, how am I being a shill? Like, the guy comes on, acts like an asshole, says that he already thinks he won the election. Like, yeah, you shouldn't come on and say you won the fucking election. Like, can we at least agree on that? Even if you're like a big Trump guy, like, even, like, can you at least agree you shouldn't come on and say you won? Like, that's fucking bullshit. Okay, let me look at this real quick. I want to watch this.
It's very much alive in America. Here, the people rule. Power can't be taken or asserted.
Oh, the Electoral College does.
It flows from the people, and it's their will that determines who will be the President of the United States, and their will alone. And now, after a long night of counting, it's clear that we're winning enough states to reach 270 electoral votes needed to win the presidency. I'm not here to declare that we've won, but I am here to report when the count is finished, we believe we will be the winners.
Okay.
With all the votes counted, we have won Wisconsin by 20,000 votes. Virtually the same margin that President Trump won that state 4 years ago. In Michigan, we lead by over 35,000 votes, and it's growing.
Damn.
A substantially bigger margin than President Trump won Michigan in 2016. Michigan will complete its vote soon, maybe as early as today. And I feel very good about Pennsylvania. Virtually all the remaining ballots to be counted were cast by mail. And we've been winning 78% of the votes by mail in Pennsylvania.
That's a lot.
We've flipped Arizona and the 2nd District of Nebraska. Of special significance to me is that we've won with the majority of the American people. And every indication is that that majority will grow. We have a popular vote lead of nearly 3 million votes.
I've heard that before.
And every indication is that will grow as well. Indeed, Senator Harris and I are on track to win more votes than any ticket in the history of this country that ever won the presidency and vice presidency. Over 70 million votes. I'm very proud of our campaign. Only 3 presidential campaigns in the past have defeated an incumbent president. When it's finished, God willing, we'll be the 4th. This is a major achievement. This is a major achievement. And it's been a long and difficult campaign. But it's been a more difficult time for our country, a hard time. We've had hard campaigns before.
Okay.
We've faced hard times before.
All right.
So once this election is finalized and behind us, it'll be time for us to do what we've always done as Americans.
Twitter.
To put the harsh rhetoric of the campaign behind us, to lower the temperature, to see each other again, to listen to one another, to hear each other again, and respect and care for one another.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
To unite, to heal, to come together as a nation.
Okay.
I know this won't be easy. I'm not naive.
That's
Neither
nice.
of us are. I know how deep and hard the opposing views are in our country on so many things. But I also know this as well. To make progress, we have to stop treating our opponents as enemies. We are not enemies.
Wow, okay.
What brings us together as Americans is so much stronger
that's
than anything
good.
that can tear us apart.
That's actually good for
So
me to
let
say
me
that.
be clear.
Wow. How about that?
We are campaigning as a Democrat.
We.
But I will govern as an American president. The presidency itself is not
That
a partisan institution. It's the one office in this nation that represents everyone.
Thanks for resub, Logan.
And it demands a duty of care for all Americans. And that is precisely what I will do. I will work as hard for those who didn't vote for me as I will for those who did vote for me.
Everything he's saying is good.
Every vote must be counted. No one's going to take our democracy away from us. Not now, not ever. America's come too far. America's fought too many battles. America's endured too much to ever let that happen.
Yeah.
We, the people, will not be silenced. We, the people, will not be bullied. We, the people, will not surrender. My friends, I'm confident we'll emerge victorious. But this will not be my victory alone or our victory alone. It'll be a victory for the American people, for our democracy, for America. And there will be no blue states and red states when we win.
He's
just the
colorblind.
United States of America. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.
That was a good speech. I really think that was I think that was really good. But overall, like, that was really good. Yeah, that was good. Like, it wasn't about how Trump's an ass. He didn't even really say anything about him. I feel like that was genuinely a good speech. Like, even if you don't like Joe Biden, that's the Trump voter suppression right there, dude. They're fucking. That's Trump voter suppression, just like they said. Just like they fucking said, dude. And so, no, listen, I think, honestly, it was a really great job. Like, Joe Biden did a great job with the speech. He only fucked it up half a dozen times, which is probably a little bit better than average for him. And I'm impressed by that.